The year was 3450. A small spaceship floated above a frozen, dead planet called Cora 7. The planet had no trees, no sky, no sun, only ice and silence. No one lived there. Nothing had moved on this world for thousands of years. But now, something strange was happening. Inside the ship, 5 humans looked at a screen. Their names were Captain Rayla, Engineer Tom, Biologist Mina, Pilot Zed, and AI Specialist Arlo. They were explorers from Earth, searching for lost signals in space. "There," said Rayla, pointing to the screen. "The ground is warm under the ice. Something is alive down there." Tom frowned. "That's impossible. This planet is dead. We scanned it already." "But the signal is strong," Mina said. "It's like a heartbeat." Zed added, "And the ground below?" "It's melting." Rayla gave the order. "We dig." 3 hours later, the team stood in front of a deep hole in the ice. Inside, something large and dark was hidden under frozen crystals. It looked like a mountain, but it was breathing. Slowly. Deeply. Mina stepped forward. "It's not metal. It's scales." "That thing is alive." Tom whispered. "It's a creature." Rayla narrowed her eyes. "Not just a creature, a dragon." No one spoke. Dragons were myths, old Earth legends. They were not supposed to be real. And definitely not on a faraway planet like this. But there it was. 30 meters long, wings folded, tail coiled, horns curved back like stone, and a mouth filled with sharp teeth frozen shut. Then it moved. The dragon's eye opened. A glowing golden light stared at them. Rayla stepped back. "It's awake." A deep, ancient voice echoed in the cave, not from speakers, but inside. "Their minds, humans, you have returned." The voice was slow, cold, tired, yet it held great power. The team froze in fear. "Did it just speak?" Arlo asked, his hands shaking. Zed nodded. "I heard it in my head." Rayla gathered her courage. "You can speak? Who are you?" The dragon raised its head slightly. Ice cracked and fell from its body. The air became warmer. "I am called Velther. I was here before your kind vanished." Mina blinked. "Before we vanished? What do you mean?" "You don't remember," said the dragon. "They erased everything." Rayla stepped closer. "Who erased what?" The dragon looked at her with sad, glowing eyes. "The galaxy erased you, your power, your truth, your story." Tom spoke up, confused. "What truth?" "We are just explorers, scientists. We don't have any power." Velther let out a sound that might have been a laugh or a growl. "That's what they made you believe." Everyone stood in silence. The only sound was the soft hum of the ship's equipment and the dragon's slow breathing. Rayla looked around. Her team was scared, but also curious. She asked, "Why are you here? Why under the ice?" The dragon closed its eyes. "Because I refused to help them. I protected the last spark of your kind. So they buried me and hoped I would never wake." Zed asked, "What spark? What kind of spark?" The dragon didn't answer. Instead, he whispered something that made everyone's skin cold. "You are not what you think you are." Rayla stepped forward. "Tell us the truth. What do you know about use?" Velther slowly opened his eyes again. His voice was deeper this time, filled with sadness and warning. "You were not weak. You were not small. Once the galaxy feared you, because humans were not just survivors. They were creators of something powerful, something impossible." Tom asked, "What was it?" The dragon's body shook. He coughed, and a puff of black smoke filled the cave. "The thing they feared most was not your strength. It was your hope." Everyone stood in silence again. The word hung in the air like a ghost. Hope? The galaxy feared humans because of hope. Mina spoke, her voice low. "This doesn't make sense." Rayla shook her head. "No, it does. Why else would we feel like something is missing from our history?" Like a part of us is sleeping? Velther looked directly at her. Because it is sleeping, and now it begins to wake. Asterisk snow was falling again, but it wasn't real snow. It was ash-fine, white dust drifting from the ceiling of the underground cavern, slowly covering the dragon's wings like a soft blanket. Velther had gone silent. His golden eyes were closed. His breathing had become slow and heavy. The humans stood still. No one dared speak. Then suddenly, the dragon whispered a single word, almost like a dream. Arden. Rayla stepped forward. What did you say? The dragon didn't open his eyes. His voice echoed softly in their minds. Arden was the last human I saw. Before the galaxy turned against your kind, Zed looked confused. Who's Arden? The dragon opened his eyes slowly. He looked different now, sad, older. He was your ancestor. A man with fire in his soul and stars in his eyes. He was the last to carry the spark. Tom asked, the spark again, what is it? Some kind of energy? Velther's long neck moved. He looked up at the cavern ceiling, like he was staring through time itself. Not energy, not magic. It was potential, possibility, evolution, still in progress. The spark was the thing only humans had. It made them dangerous. And beautiful. Rayla narrowed her eyes. Then what happened to us? Why don't we have it anymore? Velther answered slowly. Because the galaxy was afraid. They erased it from your blood, your memory, your story. The team listened in silence as the dragon began to remember. Thousands of years ago, the galaxy was not peaceful. Warships darkened the skies of entire planets. Empires rose and fell within hours. Artificial beings rebelled. Stars were turned into weapons. But in the middle of all this chaos, humans stood tall. They didn't have claws, or wings, or scales. But they had something stronger, imagination. Velther's memory showed them humans building machines from nothing but scraps. Speaking to entire planets with only their voices. Turning war into peace, using only ideas. They didn't conquer with force, he said. They conquered by inspiring. But inspiration was dangerous. The ruling species, the Orathi, the Trulk, the Vorn, they feared what they didn't understand. To them, humans were not allies. They were a threat to control. So they made a decision, the dragon growled. A final decision. Erase them. Not just their bodies, but their name, their truth, their memory. Rayla felt a chill in her spine. They erased all of human history, and no one remembers? No one was supposed to, Velther said. Except me. I broke their law. I refused to destroy Arden. I let him run. I let him hope. Mina stepped forward. So why are we still here? If we lost the spark, why do we still exist? The dragon looked at her, and for a long time he said nothing. Then finally, because even a dying flame can light 1,000 stars. Suddenly, Arlo's datapad beeped. Static appeared on the screen. The AI on their ship, Nova, was speaking, but the voice had changed. It was no longer robotic. It was human. Awakening pattern detected. Spark signature. Unstable but present. Begin memory sync. Rayla's eyes widened. What the hell is that? Velther smiled for the first time. His teeth were sharp, but the smile was gentle. It has begun. You are not just explorers. You are echoes of what was lost. Pieces of the forgotten truth. And soon, you will remember. As the team turned back toward the ship, the walls of the cavern began to pulse with light, soft blue symbols glowing from the ice itself. The dragon spoke one last time in this part, his voice low and ancient. They buried you in darkness. But even the coldest night cannot kill the morning. Rayla looked back at him, her voice trembling. Who were we really? Velther closed his eyes again. You are not just human. You were the future. Darkness had a sound. It wasn't loud. It wasn't a scream. It was a whisper like voices behind a wall, just low enough to hear, but never understand. Rayla sat alone in the ship's medbay. The rest of the team was asleep. But she couldn't. Close her eyes, something was calling her. She looked at the small metal cube in her hands. The cube was found under the dragon's tail. It wasn't there before. No one saw it fall. No one placed it there, but when she touched it, she heard voices. Not alien, not digital, human, flashback sequence, triggered by the cube. As Rayla stared at the cube, the lights in the room flickered. A strange wind passed through inside the sealed ship. Suddenly, her surroundings faded. She was no longer in the med bay. She stood in a giant hall, filled with humans wearing strange suits, metal, glass, glowing with white light. They stood tall, proud, and confident. Behind them, a banner waved. United Terran Flame, we build what they fear. Rayla couldn't breathe. She could only listen. An old man with silver eyes stood on a platform, speaking to the crowd. They want to ban our minds. They fear what? We can imagine, but we are not weapons. We are the storm after silence, the light after extinction. Let them erase the records. Let them bury the truth. We are not history. We are the reset. Then everything vanished. Rayla gasped and dropped. The cube. It hit the floor and turned black. Back to present. She rushed to the command room and woke the team. They all gathered around, eyes heavy but alert. I saw something, Rayla said. A memory, a message. I think it was real. Velther, the dragon, was waiting on their main screen connected through the ship's internal cameras. His face was calm, but his eyes were glowing brighter than before. The past is returning to you, he said, piece by piece. Tom leaned forward. Was that real? A vision? No, said Velther. It was a record. One of many hidden in deep matter memory. The galaxy destroyed your libraries, your satellites, your words. But the spark encoded knowledge in your blood, your minds, even your machines. Mina shook her head. That's impossible. You're saying the truth is inside us. Buried, said the dragon. But never dead. The galactic erasure. Revealed slowly, Zed looked up from his terminal. So what exactly happened? Who ordered it? Why did the galaxy erase us? Velther's voice became quieter, colder. You built a dream too large. You solved problems too fast. Other species called you reckless. But in truth, you were evolving faster than they could control. So they made laws, then armies, then lies. He paused. They called it Operation Memory Collapse, a council-level decision. Every trace of advanced human society was wiped. Robots burned. Your cities, AI rewritten. Planets seeded with false history. Rayla whispered, and no one resisted? The dragon's eyes narrowed. Some did. Some dragons, some machines, a few alien friends. But most chose silence over survival. I was branded a traitor for refusing to destroy the last archive. That's why I was buried in ice. Present mystery. A hidden signal. Suddenly, alarms rang. The ship's I Nova spoke in a calm female voice. Incoming data pulse detected. Source, planetary core. Language, unknown. Correction, ancient human. Tom's eyes widened. Something under us is broadcasting. The dragon closed his eyes and whispered, it has started. The lock is breaking. Arlo quickly scanned the feed. Coordinates point to a structure 10 miles east. Underground. Massive in size. Rayla made the call. We're going in. As they prepared to leave, Velther said one last thing. This next place is not a building. It is a memory made of steel. It will not show you what you want. It will show you what you've forgotten. Rayla turned, helmet in hand. And what's that? The dragon looked straight into her eyes. The kind of humans who made gods afraid. Asterisk. The wind outside was screaming. It wasn't natural wind. It came from deep below the planet's surface like Something old was waking up and breathing for the first time in ages. Rayla's team stood at the entrance of a deep tunnel carved into solid rock. The entrance wasn't made by machines. It wasn't natural either. The walls were smooth, shaped like flowing water frozen in time. Strange symbols glowed faintly along the stone human symbols, but ones no one could read. Tom touched one with his gloved hand. It lit up under his fingers. Behind them, the dragon's voice crackled over their communicator. This place remembers, but it does not forgive. Rayla took the lead and stepped into the tunnel. One by one, the others followed her. Zed, Mina, Arlo, and Tom, each with silent fear in their eyes. None of them knew what they were about to see, but none of them wanted to turn back. After walking for what felt like an hour, they entered a wide chamber. In the center stood a floating machine round, glowing softly, humming like a song from a dream. It was old, ancient, yet alive. Arlo stepped closer. "It's not alien," he said. "I think we made this." The machine pulsed. A blue light scanned their faces, then it spoke. "Spark signature confirmed. Protocol unlock 74%. Human core data resynchronizing." Everyone stepped back, shocked. "What does that mean?" Mina asked before anyone could answer. The chamber around them shifted. Walls slid open like paper. Lights flickered on. Giant screens lit up, showing images, humans, cities, stars, and blueprints for machines that should be impossible. One screen showed a word none of them had ever seen before. Project Spark Origin. Arlo walked toward the console beneath it. His hands moved without thinking, typing into controls he had never seen, but somehow understood. "It's like my brain knows what to do," he whispered. The machine replied again. "Neural memory is activating. Cognitive lock fading." "Welcome back, Arlo Kier. Design engineer, Class Vi." Arlo froze. What did it just say? Tom stepped forward. You were a design engineer?" "No," Arlo said. "That's not possible. I'm not. I've never been." But he stopped, because suddenly, memories were flashing in his mind. Blueprints, equations, a girl's voice laughing beside him. A sky with two suns. He looked around at the team, his hands shaking. "I think I've lived before." Rayla stared at him in shock. "Are you saying you were reborn?" "No, I think I was paused." Before they could process it, the machine continued. Human function stabilizing. Awaiting command input from lead Spark. They all looked at Rayla. She blinked. "Why me?" The machine responded instantly. "Your DNA matches core profile, Arden Prime Line." Tom whispered. "Arden. That's the name the dragon spoke." Back in the cave, Rayla's heartbeat sped up. "I don't understand any of this." Behind them, the walls of the chamber opened again. This time, revealing a new path, bright, glowing, and silent. From the communicator, Velther spoke again. But his voice had changed. It was no longer cold, it was proud. "You are beginning to hear it, aren't you? The voice of the forgotten, the blood in your bones calling out. This is not new to you, this is you remembering." Rayla didn't speak. She just walked forward. The hallway beyond led to a room filled with empty suits, armor made of light metal and energy. Each one stood tall, waiting, like guardians asleep. As they entered, one suit lit up. It scanned Rayla silently, then opened. Without thinking, she stepped into it. The moment the suit closed around her, she gasped, not from pain, but from clarity. She could see more, hear more, think faster. Everything became still. Her mind filled with voices not from others, but from herself. Hundreds of versions of her, layered in time, whispering knowledge. She felt power. Not power to kill, but power to change. The suit spoke inside her helmet. Awakening protocol complete. Lead Spark active. Then the walls around them trembled. Outside, in orbit, something had noticed the activation. A distant signal was sent into space. A code. A warning. From deep among the stars, far beyond what the team could see, a fleet of black ships began to move. They were not here yet, but they were coming. The ship's AI spoke through Nova. Alert. Unmarked vessels en route. Estimated arrival. 12 hours. Recommendation. Prepare for contact. Rayla turned toward her team, her voice steady and clear. We're not just explorers. Anymore, Tom asked. Then what are we? She looked at them all, her eyes glowing through the helmet. We're the memory they couldn't kill. And now we remember who we were. It began with silence, a kind of silence that felt heavy like the air itself was waiting. Rayla stood at the edge of the cliff, just outside the spark chamber. Her armor hummed quietly, matching the rhythm of her heartbeat. She looked up at the dark sky above Cora 7, where stars blinked peacefully. But she knew peace never lasted. Behind her, the rest of the team was preparing. Tom adjusted his second suit that had activated for him, sleek and fitted like it was made just for his body. Arlo sat near the glowing core, typing into the console faster than he thought possible. His eyes had changed, brighter. Focus.Z. And Mina were loading equipment into the shuttle. Neither of them spoke much anymore. They didn't need to. Something between them had shifted, like they understood more than words now. Nova's voice echoed through the base. 3 vessels approaching, not marked, not responding to hails. Origin, Council Space. Arrival in 10 minutes. Rayla didn't move. They're early. Velther's voice came from the shadows, soft but powerful. They felt the spark light up. Even after all these years, they are still afraid of you. Tom walked up beside her. Then let them be afraid. The ships arrived like shadows falling from space. 3 enormous black vessels dropped into the sky, engines silent, weapons armed. They hovered above the surface, blocking the stars. Then, a voice came through on all channels, calm, official, and cold. This is the Galactic Compliance Fleet. You have activated a banned protocol on a sealed world. Shut it down. Surrender. The artifact and all related individuals. You have 60 seconds. Zed muttered. They didn't even ask who we are. They already know, said Arlo. They've been waiting for this. Rayla activated her suit. Light ran down her arms. Her eyes glowed blue. We don't surrender. Inside the chamber, the spark core pulsed faster, responding to her voice. The ancient energy recognized something. It wasn't just awakening. It was choosing. The countdown ticked. 50 seconds. Mina spoke quietly. If we fight, there's no going back. We've already gone too far, Rayla answered. We saw the truth. We felt it. We are it now. The ships above began charging. Their weapons. Red lights danced across the icy ground. 30 seconds. The dragon, watching from the ridge, spread his great wings slowly. Ice cracked beneath him. They will fire, he said. Because they think you are still weak. Rayla turned to the team. Are we? Tom smiled. Not anymore. The countdown ended. Silence returned. Then the sky exploded. Beams of plasma rained down from the warships. The ground split. Flames shot into the sky. The mountain shook. The spark chamber groaned under the impact, but it held. Rayla raised her hands. Instinctively, and something inside her answered. A wave of blue energy burst from her palms, colliding with the incoming fire. The blast twisted, slowed, and then stopped. The light didn't break through her. It bent around her. She turned it aside. Tom laughed in disbelief. You just stopped the plasma cannon. Rayla looked at her hands. I didn't try, it just happened. The spark inside her was no longer sleeping. All around them, ancient machines hidden under the ice began to wake. Turrets unfolded from stone. Drones flew up like birds. Defense systems powered on for the first time in thousands of years. They weren't attacking. They were waiting, recognizing, remembering that the council ships paused their assault. A new message came through this time, not a threat. Unidentified. Human entity. State your origin. What are you? Rayla stepped forward. Her voice was clear. We are not your history. We are not your mistake. We are the spark returned. Silence again. Then the enemy ships began to pull back slowly, silently, without another word. They didn't leave out of kindness. They left because something had changed. Something scared them again. Not weapons, not numbers, but potential. Rayla turned to her team. They stood with her, strong, glowing, reborn. Arlo stepped forward, his hand glowing with code. The system unlocked a new message. Buried deep in Earth's old transmissions, a human voice sent during the collapse. He played it, to whoever finds this. We were never trying to rule the galaxy. We were trying to wake it up. If we fail, maybe someone, someday, will finish what we started. Not with war, but with light. Mina whispered, "That's what we're doing." Velther watched them with something close to awe. The galaxy came to destroy you. Instead, it ran. Rayla looked toward the stars. This wasn't the end, it was the beginning. Asterisk, there was no more fire in the sky, no more alarms. The warships were gone. And yet, something heavier remained, the question. Not about what had just happened, but about why it had ever happened at all. Rayla stood in the quiet spark chamber, her armored boots echoing on the smooth floor. Her team stood with her, tired but unbroken, their faces lit by the blue glow. Of the awakened core, no one was speaking, the silence wasn't fear anymore, it was waiting. Then, Velther's voice came not through the communicator, but through the chamber itself. His words filled the air like smoke and sunlight. You held them back, without ships, without an army, just your spark. Now you must understand what it really is. The chamber darkened. Light gathered around the core and shaped itself into a figure. A woman, tall, glowing, eyes like stars. She wasn't real, but she felt alive. She spoke gently. Not like a recording, like she knew them. I am Core Unit Alethea, memory keeper of the final humans. You have passed the activation threshold. Access granted to Level 1 Truth. The team looked at each other. Arlo stepped closer. What are you? She answered without blinking. I am a voice from the past. A voice they buried. A voice they could not kill. Tom asked the question on everyone's mind. What is the spark? She looked directly at him. Her words were calm, but unstoppable. The spark is not power. Not energy, not magic. It is the permission to change. It is the only thing in the galaxy that breaks every rule and writes a new one. Rayla stepped forward. You mean evolution? The woman shook her head slowly. No, evolution waits. The spark leaps. It is the human ability to reach beyond what they are told is possible. Not just to survive, but to reshape reality through will, belief, and memory. Zed whispered. And that's what they feared? The woman's voice turned softer, almost sad. Other species had strength, speed, knowledge, but humans had imagination with no ceiling. They did not build better weapons. They built better ways. They were not stronger. They were unpredictable. You didn't follow the rules of the universe. You made your own. The image began to fade slightly, flickering. Rayla asked, why erase us? Why hide all of this? Velther spoke again from above, his voice heavy. Because no empire survives a species that refuses to stay in place. You were not killed. You were rewritten. Arlo stepped forward, watching the woman's image glitch again. So what now? The ships ran. But they'll be back, right? The woman looked up. Her glow flickered faster now. Yes, they will come again, with more fire. With more fear. But fear can only burn what stands still. Rayla looked down at her hands. They didn't shake. They pulsed. Quiet. Steady. Like her blood remembered who it once was, she asked the final question. The one she hadn't dared ask until now. Why? US, why now? Why are we the ones waking up? The chamber dimmed. Then, like a final gift, the woman's voice came one last time, no longer as a keeper of memory, but as someone who had once stood where they were now. Because every time the galaxy forgets you, you find a way to return. Not as soldiers, not as kings, but as reminders. You are not what the galaxy wants. You are what it needs. Then she was gone, and in her place, a new path opened. A round door in the floor slid aside, revealing stairs made of light, leading downward deeper than anything they had yet seen. Rayla looked at her team. No one asked what came next. They just followed, and as they stepped down into the unknown, the spark glowed brighter, because it wasn't just inside them now. It was awake. The stairs never ended. Rayla kept walking. Behind her, the others followed without speaking. Their footsteps made no sound, though they walked on glowing light. There were no walls, no floor, no ceiling, only a great emptiness stretching in all directions. And then suddenly, there was a door. It stood alone, small, metal, ancient. Nothing strange about it. But Rayla knew what was behind it would change everything. She touched it. The door slid open. They stepped into a room filled with stars. Not lights, not holograms, actual stars. A map of the galaxy spun around them, living, breathing, real. It wrapped around their bodies, their eyes, their hearts. Each star pulsed with different light. But one star pulsed brighter than all. Earth. The system zoomed in. The planet appeared, gray and blue, scarred and quiet. And then something strange happened. The map blinked. Another Earth appeared. Then another. Then hundreds. Each labeled differently. Terra, Sol 3, the Flame Seed, Forgotten Prime, Home-World-Class-0. Tom took a step forward, stunned. These aren't copies. Arlo nodded slowly. They're backups. Zed whispered, we were never erased. Mina added, we were stored. The room was not a map. It was a library. A living archive of human memory, scattered across time and space, hidden inside gravity wells, quantum dust, black holes, even inside machines that had long forgotten their purpose. Velther's voice came for the final time, echoing through the stars. They didn't destroy you. They couldn't. They only delayed the return. The lights around them began to shift. Thousands of coordinates appeared, some nearby, some beyond reach. But all of them human. Rayla turned, her voice clear. How many of us are still out there? Nova, the ship's AI, answered from inside their suits. Estimated awakened sparks, 7. Estimated dormant sparks, 14,623. Zed's eyes widened. Thousands, Arlo added. Maybe more. The galaxy hadn't buried one species. It had planted a forest. And now it was growing back. Rayla stood still as the galaxy's map shifted again. This time to focus on a signal, small, flickering, but spreading. Their own signal. Nova had already broadcast it. When Rayla stopped the Council's attack, the spark chamber had recorded everything. Now it was sending the truth, their truth, into space. No more lies. No more silence. Only a message. We have awakened. Somewhere in the galaxy, others were watching. A reptilian species in a mining station paused their work as their machines began speaking old human code. A rogue AI on a dead moon froze mid-task as its directives changed. An old terraforming drone shut itself down and whispered a name. Arden. The stars were listening. Not everyone welcomed it. Across the void, the Council watched. They had known this day might come, but they had hoped it never would. They activated fleets, sent warnings, ordered silence, but something had shifted. Not just in space. In minds. In memories. The idea had escaped. And ideas, once free, Don't die. Rayleigh turned toward her team. This isn't a war, she said. It's a signal, a call, not to fight, but to remember. Arlo nodded. To finish what we started, Tom smiled. To remind the galaxy who we really are. Mina looked up at the stars. Not the conquerors, Zed added. Not the forgotten. Raylo whispered, the sparks. And then, for the first time since the beginning, the spark itself spoke not through voice, but through light. It did not command. It did not demand. It simply invited. They stepped forward, and the room opened, casting a beam of light into the stars. The message went out. The galaxy would never be the same. Because now, it remembered what it once feared. Not human weapons. Not human armies, but human potential. The kind that burns quietly, and then changes everything.